What up, dude bros? I'm Frank. This is a video review of the Adventure Force Sportsman. This blaster by Dart Zone is a pump-action, spring-powered, hopper-fed dart blaster. Very interesting. Let's get into the review. Included is the blaster, darts, and instructions. External overview of the Sportsman, starting up at the front. There's no in-strike barrel lug. This is not a Nerf brand blaster. Up here we have a front iron sight, and down here is the priming handle. This is a spring-powered blaster to prime. You do that. The prime strength required is in line with other blasters on the market, but it has a very gritty feel. Inside the hopper there are these little flaps that flick up and down as you prime in order to agitate the hopper to feed more consistently. These are activated manually as you prime, so it has a very gritty, mechanically just sloppy feel. It's tolerable and it functions surprisingly well, but it's not a very smooth prime at all. That is the priming handle. Now up to the hopper, which really makes this blaster special. To open the hopper, you hit the little orange thing here and pull up, and that exposes the hopper itself. To load, you just drop darts right on in there. If you have a fistful of darts like this, it's super fast to load. You just drop them in, shut it, and you're good to go. It's not quite as easy as loading a rival hopper though, because they're balls. Darts are directional, so obviously you have to load them all facing forward. But the hopper has a capacity of 20 darts. The top of the hopper has this cool little accordion style thing. So when you shut the hopper door, the little accordion thing gently presses down on the darts for more consistent feeding. And at the bottom of the hopper there are two of these little flaps that flicker back and forth as you're priming. These flaps agitate the darts for more consistent feeding. And at the lowest point in the hopper, you can see the little feeding arm. When you prime back, it opens up, one dart drops into the chamber, and then it's manually pushed forward when you push the priming handle forward. And this hopper works surprisingly well. A hopper-fed dart blaster is a difficult thing to pull off mechanically, but Dart Zone has done it. It feeds pretty well, and you can actually tilt the blaster to about a 45-degree angle, and it still feeds consistently. When you exceed about 45 degrees in angle, then it no longer feeds consistently. That's because it's relying on gravity to drop the round into the chamber. Without gravity, if you're like upside down or in Australia, it's not going to feed well. And again, to load this one, you can get a fistful of darts or just one by one if you want to. You just place them in, shut the hopper, and you're ready to go. Behind the hopper is a very large carry handle, which is convenient. Moving down to the trigger pull is pretty standard, but this blaster does not have slam fire. Now down to the grip. It's a very comfortable grip. Dart Zone has been nailing it lately. It's comfortable, filleted, ergonomic. It'll work great for a small hand and a big hand. I have long fingers, but not super thick fingers, and my hand fits in there just fine. And even if I had like a winter glove on, I would still have enough space in here. This bottom bar is not cramping, but it looks pretty cool, and if you want to go up and melee a Zambi in the face, you're not going to hurt your knuckles. Whoosh. So very good grip. Way to go, Dart Zone. But there is no sling attachment point in the rear of the blaster, which is a bit of a bummer. So that is an external overview of the Sportsman. Let's see it fire. Shooting the included waffle head darts. Operating the Sportsman was pretty fun. I had an occasional dry fire, maybe 1 out of 20, which is 1 dart per hopper with dry fire, which occurs when the dart simply does not drop into the chamber correctly, and when you pull the trigger, nothing comes out. And I did experience one jam where a dart got halfway into the chamber but then got caught. I fired a few hundred rounds out of this blaster, and that only occurred one time, and I happened to catch it on video. The feeding system works way better than I was expecting. A gravity-fed hopper dart blaster is a very difficult thing to mechanically pull off. So I'm impressed with the performance, but it's not perfect. It doesn't feed as reliably as something like a spring-loaded magazine. I think that jam was a one-off because I was shooting at a pretty severe angle, but the dry firing was enough to annoy me. It's about 1 out of 20 just doesn't load correctly. But to compare the Sportsman to other blasters, I put it up on my chronograph, and with the included Dart Zone waffle head darts achieved an average velocity of 69 giggity feet per second, and with Nerf Elite darts an average of 73 feet per second. This is right on par for the Nerf Elite average, but this is shooting a lot slower than other Dart Zone blasters on the market right now. So if you're playing with other Nerf blasters, you'll fit right in. If you're playing against Dart Zone blasters, you'll be at a disadvantage. That's all of the objective information I can provide on this blaster. Now to my personal opinion. Overall, I'm impressed that they got it to work as well as it does work, but I will not be using this in any wars. The loading mechanism works really well as something of a proof of concept, but as a battle-effective blaster, it's really not up to par. The repeated dry firing is enough to annoy me personally. 1 out of 20 might not sound like a big deal, but if you're laying down suppressive bursts of fire, the guy finally pops up, you have that shot lined up, you pull the trigger and you dry fire. You had the shot, but you missed it because your blaster malfunctioned. That's just a bummer. And that annoyance is enough for me not to use this blaster. Furthermore, it does not have a smooth prime. You're mechanically activating these little flaps, so there's a tremendous amount of mechanical grit in the prime. When I play, I like to have blasters that are smooth and silky and run really well. That's important to me personally. It's gritty, it's mechanical, it doesn't feel smooth, and it pulls from the play experience in my opinion. Now, to buy or not to buy, I don't think many people will be happy purchasing this blaster. If you're looking for a new spring primary, check out the Adventure Force Villainator. It has superior firing performance, double the capacity, and in my opinion, it's just a slightly better platform to play with. The Hopper is a very cool design. I'm impressed that they got it to work as well as it does work, but it's just not quite 100%. I think the only people that should be buying this blaster is if for some reason the footprint, the overall volume is of critical importance to you. This has a 20-round capacity, and it's a very slim blaster. A 20-round magazine would protrude from the blaster considerably. A 20-round cylinder would make this blaster much wider, so if you for some reason need a really small blaster with a high capacity, this could be it for you. But that's kind of the only role I can see this fulfilling, instead of just buying a Villainator or a magazine-fed blaster. One of the biggest advantages is the fact that it's Hopper. It has a lot of cons and a lot of flaws with that Hopper, but it's cool to be able to grab a big pile of darts, drop them in, and you're ready to go. If you have a large cylinder, you have to sit there and hand load, and it is slower. This is pretty quick if you have like bundles of darts ready to go. If you have a pile of darts though, and you're grabbing one by one, this isn't any faster to load than a cylinder though. So it's a really cool concept, a really great blaster. I'm impressed that they got it to work as well as it is working, but I'm still not impressed enough to really recommend anyone buy it. Again, if you're looking for a spring primary, check out the Adventure Force Villainator. That is a fantastic blaster. But hopefully I've laid out all the objective information for you to make an educated purchase decision on your own. If you'd like to buy one, I'll put a purchase link in the description box below. That's it for this video review. Thanks so much for watching, bros, and as always, stay tactical.